This is Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Omar Wahid.
And this is Rob Chappell.
And it's 365 Amplified, and at the time of this recording, Rob's birthday.
Woo!
Happy birthday.
Happy another year around the sun and being older than me. Because it makes me feel better.
Even more older than you than I was.
Yeah, yesterday, good comparison. You are way older, officially.
Nick texted this morning and said, "Happy birthday, Rob. 35 is a big one."
Oh, that's nice.
I was like, wow, looks great for 35.
The sarcasm.
I'm not 35, friends.
No, not even a little bit.
No.
Do you remember when you were 35?
Vaguely.
Do you? Really?
Yeah.
Why only vaguely, though?
Because it was a long time ago.
Oh. I remember all my years. Fondly.
When I was 35, I only had 2 kids.
Life was simpler.
Life was much simpler.
Don't tell the little kids that, though. They'll get, especially the youngest. That one is.
Yeah. They would be very offended.
The youngest, especially, is literally like, life did not begin for any of you until I got here.
Yeah,
and then,
right.
like, I'm like, are you talking about, like, the world? Yep.
Yep.
I do like to remind my youngest brother that we traveled a lot more until he was born.
We had much cooler experiences.
We had a better time.
Before you got here.
Honestly, it is true.
I like to remind my younger brothers, that like they were obviously accidents. Like there was no way the two of them were not accidents whatsoever.
See, here's the thing. He's the only one that wasn't an accident.
Oh,
So he just has that above me and my older brother.
There's no way that my younger two brothers, and if you know, you know, there's no way, no bloody way they were not accidents.
They were going for a daughter, though. So.
Oh, so he was a disappointment still. I like how you're still like, if it wasn't for you, we'd be traveling more. Yeah, they may have wanted you, but they didn't want you. They wanted a girl, not you.
And this is a feeling that'll always happen for your entire life when you have siblings.
It's always
a
a fight.
magical feeling.
It is a magical feeling. I remember when, I don't know why we're going into this. I remember when Rob first met all of my siblings with me, or saw us all together. And when he was just overwhelmed.
A little bit.
With the dynamic of that sort of culture of like, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
Not like.
I remember my impression being that your family, your like sort of immediate family and maybe 1 or 2 uncles, was as loud as my whole extended family. Yeah. I have 30 cousins.
Yeah, first cousins.
Like first cousins. When my family gets together, it's loud. Your family with much fewer people was just as loud.
And we could handle all those conversations. We had about 30 or 60 conversations at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were burning each other the entire time.
Of course.
Yeah, because that's love.
Exactly. When the family's together, no one should feel good inside.
Nothing is sacred. That's what we used to say. And Rob was just overwhelmed and shocked.
How did we get there from my birthday?
I don't know. Oh, because we were talking about kids. Because you said you at one time had only 2 kids.
When I was all the way back when I was 35.
That's how old you are. That you can't even go back to a time where you were like younger, like, and had no kids. You only go to the point where you only had 2 kids at a time. Huh. So happy birthday to Rob.
Thank you.
You will be going camping.
Yep.
No, I will not be going with him.
Fair.
And it's okay.
Yeah. So on the podcast today, we're going to talk to Alicia Williams, who is running for village board in DeForest as part of a recall election. Yes, not Deerfield, DeForest. The recall was successful in turning in more than enough signatures to prompt the recall of Bill Landgraf, who is a current member of the board there in DeForest, and so the election will be set for September 16th, and Alicia Williams will be running against him. Not sure yet if there's going to be any other candidates, but
she's the one that's declared.
She's the one that kind of prompted this whole thing by running a really strong write-in campaign that was almost successful in the spring. So we'll have her on in a little bit, but before that, we can talk about a few other things that are coming up, and some newsy stuff. First of all, Black Restaurant Week starts this Sunday. They actually had a media preview event, which,
some of us got to enjoy.
Yep.
It is the best event.
I know.
Of the year, and I did give it away this time.
Yes.
I know.
So
That was
Omar gave it to me,
Yeah.
so I went and had some good food. Not enough to be called a conflict of interest, but you do have to sample so you understand what you're reporting about.
Of course.
Sista's Catfish and Chicken was there, which is a food truck. I had gator for the first time in 25 years, which is amazing. There's a couple of new restaurants that have just opened in the last year that are having their first Madison Black Restaurant Week. Fireside, which is on Monroe Street.
I think it's only a couple months old. I did see that they're there. I was like, oh man, I should have went this year. I've been wanting to eat there.
Yeah, it's Jamaican food, really, really good. They actually opened a food truck in Wisconsin Dells right after kind of pandemic time when food trucks was, interestingly, and this is when I talked to Nisa from Sista's Chicken or Sista's Chicken and Fish. I think I said the name wrong before. It's Sista's Chicken and Fish. I think I said seafood and chicken. That was wrong. But anyway, she was saying as a food truck, like the pandemic was ironically good for her because you couldn't go into restaurants for some period of time, but you could go to an outdoor food truck. But Fireside is this Jamaican couple who was actually, you know how Wisconsin Dells is kind of all the tourist places in Wisconsin Dells, because Wisconsin Dells is a small town. But all the tourist places get staffed by international students who come up for the summer.
Yeah.
And they did that a couple of times, and they were like, we like it here. Let's just stay. And they stayed, and they opened a food truck. And now they've opened a brick-and-mortar restaurant on Monroe Street in Madison. And so this is their first restaurant week. I also got to talk to Say from Rasta Barista, which is the new coffee shop in the lobby, or in the sort of the first floor of the Black Business Hub on the south side, and they're he's Liberian, his wife is Jamaican. They both come from coffee farming families, interestingly, and they've been like working in like mortgage banking for like 20 years, and now they've been going to Jamaica, buying Blue Mountain coffee and bringing it back and roasting it themselves, and really awesome story.
That smell of it is great. I'm like just thinking about the smell of it. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, right. So this is their first Black Restaurant Week. Anyway, Black Restaurant Week starts on Sunday with the Jubilee over at Warner Park from 2 to 6. It's $5 per taste. So that's like your tasting menu. You can try, you kind of sample everything. There's more than 30 restaurants, food trucks, retail, caterers, dessert folks, a wide variety of folks from kind of around Dane County. It's not all just Madison. I know our friend Kingsley out in Mount Horeb, Artemis, is in on it again. And we're going to have, Omar's working right now on putting together like the whole roster, the whole guide for Black Restaurant Week. So that'll be up this weekend. And because we just the other day got the final roster because it's kind of always in motion. But and also new this year, they're going to have a wrap-up event at the end of the week. And then during the week, you can vote on your favorite Black Restaurant Week experiences, and then they'll have like an awards thing in September.
Now, the Food Taste Jamboree is at a different time than it usually is for Black Restaurant Week.
Oh, is it?
It's usually at the end.
Oh, right. Yeah. But this week
it's the first day.
It's the kickoff this time, which is cool. So definitely, most of these restaurants have specials, stuff that you can't get normally, or discount prices on things. So to check it out and support, you'd be surprised. I'm always surprised at how many specifically Black-owned restaurants there are in Madison. Everything from some sort of like African cuisine to soul food and barbecue, Jamaican, just a wide range, and then coffee shops, and then of course desserts and stuff. Just a wide range of stuff. So check that out. And then a couple other events to put on your radar that Omar's got some previews of. First of all, Freedom Inc. is having their health event this weekend, right?
Yes. On August 9th, Freedom Inc. will put on their annual Health Day. It is a day to bring the communities together and spread awareness of its current campaigns and bring access to community resources. It will also feature its newer edition, a 5K walk. During the event, they will speak on their goals for next year. Next year, it's looking that they want to sustain their LGBT programs and continue on pushing to abolish school meal debts. That campaign last launch year with the Democratic Socialists of America to abolish $235,000 in school meal debt in MMSD, which that is a lot.
That's a lot of money.
They're still working on it.
And we'll flag once again, as we do every time school lunch comes up, that during the pandemic, we just gave kids free lunch.
Yep.
And proved that we could do it.
Yep.
We do know that it is cheaper also to give free lunch because you don't have to have all these extra administrative costs on top of it.
Yep.
Right. The because right now, like, you do give free lunch to kids whose families are like a lower income, or and not just free lunch. It's not just free or paid. It's free or reduced cost, and there's a ton of accounting, administrative work that goes into taking those applications and processing those applications and doing the accounting to who's paying for what. It's actually cheaper, like you say, Omar, to just give everybody food. Mm-hmm. And
absolutely.
Just makes more sense. And then you don't have to do this, like people have these fundraisers at the end of the year to get rid of kids' school debt
every single time.
Which is kind of absurd.
Well, and let's also not pretend that it didn't expand to breakfast as well, right? Like, it also offered breakfast.
Yeah, right.
And schools have had to offer breakfast access as well, and that cost is included in that school lunch debt. And offering kids breakfast and lunch and just making food accessible makes learning accessible. This is like all they're doing is meeting basic needs. So if you can, like, please donate to Freedom Inc.'s cause, and because it's specific, that is really going directly to your community and making a basic need like food in schools accessible for all kids.
Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like, you can't get if you owe more than like $20 toward your lunch, you can't get your grades, you can't take your finals.
They don't let you take your finals?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, like
they're
The
penalizing. Like, the thing is, like, and that's the thing, right? So, like, we are telling kids or making them aware at such a young age that being poor means you don't have access, right? In something like school. Mm-hmm. Like, they already feel that. They already can see that. And yet we, as a system, are perpetuating it that young, right? Like, that's ridiculous. School lunches should be free, period.
Well, you're required to be there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Even if you don't, they should be free.
Yeah.
In Iowa schools, which I'll always plug in Iowa when I get the chance, it's any amounts. They won't let you graduate. However, they don't stop you from taking your finals.
I think there's different policies in different districts, but some definitely don't let you take your final, or don't let you get your grades, or don't let you graduate.
Well, they'll give you your grades. They just won't let you graduate.
So you can't walk? Fine. Nobody liked walking anyways. Yeah, but also, like, why do districts feel like we have to penalize, right? Like, why is the penalty at the level of the child? Because they're a child, right? Like, so what are you teaching and what are you telling that child?
Right.
I mean, when a child skips enough school, the parents are in trouble. Why is the child in trouble
for school lunches
and
being held back, or in impeding their ability to, like, move forward and into their future?
All right, so that's this weekend.
That's this weekend, August 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can register for the 5K walk online or in person. They did prefer online initially, but they decided to kind of push away from the charity aspect of it to just push for raising awareness and getting the community together. So registration can happen the same day. Anyone can participate in the walk.
Perfect. And then another thing coming up is Africa Fest has an anniversary.
Yes.
Right?
It is the 25th anniversary of Africa Fest. Africa Fest did, however, start not 25 years ago. There has been some breaks in that.
But it is the 25th one.
It is the 25th one.
Got it.
And this year, the theme is going to be all the other themes. They are going to highlight everything they've done throughout its 24 other celebrations.
Oh, cool.
where they're just going to, do a display, go through the process about why they chose that one. Like last year's was diversity, equity, inclusion.
Mm.
Pretty solid reason why that happened.
All right.
Solid reason now.
Yep.
Absolutely. The year before was Faces of Africa, which highlighted the beauty of Africa itself and the people. So this year, gonna go highlight all those. I've only seen the Faces of Africa one myself, because this does happen to fall on one of the weekends where I am in Iowa. Iowa plug again.
When is Africa Fest this year?
That is August 16th,
okay.
At McPike Park. That starts at kind of loosely 10 a.m. You can be there at 10 a.m. It doesn't fully kick off until the Parade of Nations start, but vendors and people and music will be playing throughout the entire day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's a full day, 12-hour thing.
A full day.
Yeah.
You should wear sunscreen. It is.
Look at him go, plugging some sunscreen.
I didn't the time I went. I was like, oh my god, it's so hot. Who's doing this for 10 hours? I think that's kind of the point.
Not it.
Yep. All right. So again, that's coming up not this weekend, but the next weekend. And so check that out. The other bit of news that I'd like to mention is the August 6th was the not only the 10th anniversary of Madison 365. We did nail that down. Last week we couldn't remember which day it was.
It was the day. I knew it was around your birthday. I couldn't remember. It wasn't on your birthday.
Well, and the way I figured out that it was the 6th was Facebook
showed you a memory.
So serves up memories, and the memory on Tuesday on the 5th was 10 years ago. It showed me and Dave posted a video from Cargo Coffee saying we're going to launch tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So tomorrow being August 6th, 2015. So August 6th, 2025 is our 10th anniversary. What I didn't realize is that we actually launched. We should go back and retroactively decide that we did this on purpose. That we actually launched on the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. August 6th, 2015. So August 6th, 2025 was the 60th anniversary of the passage and signing of the Voting Rights Act. And the Wisconsin League of Women Voters had a full day-long event at the Capitol. They had the president of the National League of Women Voters in attendance and speaking. They had a sort of a lunchtime program where they talked through the history of voting rights and the Voting Rights Act as specifically it affects Wisconsin and Milwaukee specifically. Milwaukee being still a very segregated city, but even more segregated 60 years ago. And they had a press conference in the middle of the day that I was at. And it was interesting because they talked about the history of the Voting Rights Act and its effect. They had somebody who actually was a volunteer in Alabama and Louisiana in 1965 as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old college student from Milwaukee, speak on her experience. And what she said was that we were being harassed and like our tires were being slashed and just walking around helping people register to vote. They were being harassed and intimidated. And then after August 6th, all that stopped because like federal law enforcement was there telling people to knock it off. And they actually managed to get people registered after that. The problem, though, is that in the last 10 years, the United States Supreme Court has undermined and watered down a lot of the Voting Rights Act. And that, along with some other, stuff that's happening that folks are aware of, the National League of Women Voters, which is incidentally a nonpartisan organization, has said explicitly that we are in a constitutional crisis right now. The democracy is really under threat. And that was kind of the thrust of the press conference is that we can celebrate this anniversary and, 60 years since it's been federally legislated that everybody gets to vote. And you can't have poll taxes. You can't have tests, general knowledge, citizenship tests to get registered to vote, that kind of stuff. There's no grandfather clause. There's nothing like that. But that it doesn't mean everything's fine. And everything's not fine in terms of voting access, in terms of democracy.
Well, I think people need to recognize and realize, like, we are under an administration that is going to stop or will stop advocating for or bringing a part of any Voting Rights Act cases, right? So they've completely withdrawn from several of them recently, and they will continue to not just pursue any of those, because by doing so allows this perpetual harm to exist and take place. Redistricting is a way for them to go after the Voting Rights Act, right?
Well, the Texas redistricting thing that's happening right now is only possible because the Supreme Court said that the Voting Rights Act doesn't really matter anymore. That part of the Voting Rights Act was that southern states had to be basically monitored by the federal government to make sure they weren't disenfranchising people. And, this is 12 years ago now. John Roberts, writing for the majority in the court, said, everything's fine now. We don't need to monitor the southern states anymore. And which Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote the dissent, saying that's if it's raining, you have your umbrella up. Oh, I'm not getting wet. I can put my umbrella away. The reason that things are fine is because the federal government is monitoring those states.
Well, and there's another case on coming up about Louisiana's redistricting based on race. It is coming up. It is on their docket to talk about, and they're signaling hey, we're about to make a mess.
There's been 4 or 5 other cases in the interim in the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Wow, when we stopped paying attention to the South, they went racist super fast.
Yes. Florida and Georgia, for example, created state laws to restrict access to vote for voting. Texas, the South.
Reconstruction should have been so much longer.
Reconstruction was a mess, y'all. We don't want to get into it.
Should have been at least a few more decades.
Yeah. So anyway, the thrust of that event was celebrating, but also let's not celebrate too much.
Let's also acknowledge, right?
Acknowledge and work at it, and they kept saying this is a crisis, democracy is under threat. And I asked the question, so what do we do?
Oh, you all.
And the answer was just something. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your legislators.
Do local.
Just keep it in the public consciousness and don't let them get away with it. And you can be part of the movement. Yeah, and donate what you can, and be aware of what these changes are. I know it seems so overwhelming to know everything, right? But giving yourself a moment to once a week to just understand what is happening around just the U.S. itself, if you'd like, and how it's impacting folks different ways, because you will see that creep into your home space soon, right? What happens with Texas with that state in redistricting, that model, it happens like this. We see a model, we should do that. And you will see it kind of move itself into other states. So as much as it's that's over there, yup. And it's going to impact us in different ways, including which, of course, it's going to impact how things happen at the federal level. But eventually it's going to find its way. Someone's going to have that idea, like fluoride being in the water. It's going to have that idea that should happen here. We should mimic that or model that here. Yeah. Or who gets to be on school boards. That model existed somewhere else. And now you see it here in your school districts and your local politics and such like that. So it's important to pay attention to these things. Right. And it's important to know, I think, that whoever you are, whoever you would normally vote for, there are – this is going to sound like a conspiracy theory, and it's not. It's the truth that there are people in power who don't want you to vote and or don't want your vote to count as much as it should.
Well, and look – there are recent town halls in Wisconsin that y'all should be watching. Because one, good job, folks. But also, those recent town halls say something, right? They tell you where people stand and what their purpose is and what they're up to. And they're gonna come here too, and so just you will hear from representatives how they feel and what it means and what language they're using to justify why restricting voting access is important. And what they always say is often illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Right? Undocumented folks who are not voting. But that's what they're going to use as the catalyst for why we should go in this direction instead of that. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. So anyway, I have a recap and some photos from that event up at Madison365.org right now. And speaking of the importance of voting, we're going to talk to Alicia Williams now. And even if you're not from DeForest, give this a listen, because this kind of thing does affect local governance. And no matter how much you get stressed out, you want to check out, you don't want to deal with politics at the national level. Stuff is still happening in your backyard that you can vote on, mm-hmm. and that you should vote on. So here we go. Let's go to my conversation now with Alicia Williams. And joining us now once again from the village of DeForest over in Eastern Dane County, Alicia Williams. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. And we're here because this is sort of the next chapter in this ongoing saga of the village of DeForest. We had you on last time when you were running a write-in campaign during in the spring after the village board voted to remove fluoride from the water. That was kind of the inciting incident. Since then, you and some other folks in DeForest have successfully initiated a recall election against one of the village trustees. Can you just tell us about the process and kind of what prompted it and where it stands now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll start at the end. Last night, our petition was approved, officially certified, 5-2 vote through the board. And basically what we sought to do was recall the Bill Landgraf from the board, just due to his behavior towards other residents, and unethical behavior, unsavory Facebook post, just to get some more professionalism on the board. So we got together, started collecting signatures. I believe we needed roughly around 1,300, but we ended up collecting 1,500 signatures.
Yep.
And yeah.
And almost all of them were validated, right?
I think all but 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for folks who don't know, it's you have to get 25% of the turnout of the last gubernatorial election. That's how they set the number. So the number was, like you said, a little over 1,300, and then once you get that many signatures, they all have to be village residents, right? And they all have to be like electors, and then those clerk has a certain amount of time to go through them and make sure they're all real and correct. And that takes a couple of weeks, right? It took almost a month, maybe?
I'm not exactly.
Oh, yeah, it was about almost exactly a month, because it was July 4th that you all turned them in.
Yeah, so, right? Yeah, exactly. And so last night, everything was certified.
It's about a month. She found, and Bill Landgraf did challenge a bunch of them.
Yeah,
they were ineligible, illegible, I should say, illegible. Or that dates were wrong or something, or
legibility. I think he put like 200 signatures he said were not valid, and those were found to be within the guidelines. Mm-hmm. So here we are.
So here we are. So now, but that doesn't automatically remove him from the board, right? That now there has to be an election, and you have to run the whole thing. You had 6 weeks basically to do a whole election. You have to get signatures to be placed on the ballot. What's the deadline for that?
I believe it is I want to say I'm not sure. I think it was the 9th, but that's a Saturday. So a week or so.
And are you working on that? You're going to get enough? I mean, the bar for that is much lower.
I think it's like 40 some odd signatures. So
okay.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on the timeline. I just know it's not going to be anything to go out and get those signatures.
And then the election will be September 16th.
Yes,
right?
September 16th is when it's scheduled for. So that is the date.
And it sounds like it's just going to be the two on the ballot. Is there going to be a primary that you're aware of?
Well, I mean, who knows, right? And
okay.
so,
a third person could jump in. theoretically.
Yes. Nobody has put their name out there unofficially yet.
Okay.
Paperwork obviously has to be filed, but
Yep.
right now, as far as I know, it's just Bill and I.
Yeah. Okay. And this campaign, the recall campaign, and the even though Bill Landgraf wasn't up for re-election in his seat on the board, basically what happens in the village board that you vote for 3 and the top 3 vote getters get a seat on the board, and you were 4th by this much, but as not being on the ballot, you got over 1,700 votes. You came like 100 and something votes shy of becoming in 3rd, which would have got you on the board. And this recall campaign has kind of carried that momentum.
Yeah,
Fair to say?
absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely been a momentum. 1,700 write-ins was a lot. And so I think that's just indicative to speaking what DeForest wants. They wanted a change on that board. And, although that wasn't successful, here we are again with another opportunity.
And just to kind of nod to some of the things that you talked about, the behavior, which Bill Landgraf did vote to remove fluoride from the water,
Correct.
which is a lot of people just didn't like that. But besides that, like during the debate over the fluoride, like he called somebody's workplace.
Yeah, I mean,
intimidate them, and then somebody else was commenting anonymously in favor of keeping fluoride in the water, and he emailed her, posing as a reporter from a quote national news outlet or something, and offering to pay her for an interview, which journalists never do. That's like obviously that's not a real journalist if they're offering to pay you. But basically just wanted to get her phone number so he could figure out who it was. Right. Yeah. And he has, he's sort of informally, he hasn't denied those allegations to me. I've given plenty of opportunity to, and he has not responded. So, and there, and even when like people were collecting signatures or campaigning for your write-in, he was like lurking around and intimidating people. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just his MO. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have that much time on my hands. In front of people's houses or following people around, but I think it goes to the bigger discussion. We have to have leaders we can disagree with without fear of retribution, right? We have to have healthy civil discourse. And when you have someone, seemingly targeting someone or members of the community, you kind of lose that.
I want to get into the actual issues that, that you're running on and that you hope to address on the board. But I do also want to just kind of pursue that a little bit, that civil discourse just seems to be in short supply across the country right now.
Absolutely.
Right? Is this a microcosm of, Trump's America, to put it bluntly?
Well, sure, you could say that. And I think what we so want on a local level is we don't want that, right? And so we have the opportunity to demand a different level of integrity and conversation. And I think people feel like a little bit hopeless about what's going on a higher level. And this really just empowers people to say, we don't want to see that, and we demand the people who are making decisions to be a good neighbor. So.
And frankly, that's one of the reasons I want to talk to you, because what you're dealing with over there is something that is probably might be happening in small towns across the region and across the state. That we all have local governments that we have to elect, and that we often don't pay enough attention to, or forget to vote for those, and you get caught up in the national news of what's happening at the federal level or the international level, and like you said, it feels hopeless and daunting and frightening and just stressful. And but you do have a means to engage in government, right, with your neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's power back to the people in DeForest. They're wanting to, change the narrative in our town. That seems to be, a couple bad actors who, unfortunately are making everyone look bad.
Now to the actual issues that you're hearing about when you were doing doors and getting signatures and now as you're starting to campaign and as you're campaigning before, other than the fluoride issue and other than just, uncivil behavior, what are the hot topics that folks are worried about?
Yeah, I think, people are looking at the growth of DeForest and balancing that with also making sure we have affordability in town. So affordable housing, things that hit home is just the rising price of childcare and on both ends for those who operate childcare facilities and parents looking for childcare for their kids. Funding has been cut on a state level, and so that's kind of kept some operators strapped. And other than that, I think it's just it's business as usual. People have their passion projects about parks going in, and
Sure.
I think on the heels of is Bucky's coming to town.
Yeah. I've spent the early part of my career covering village board out here in Mahorab. So I remember long debates about roundabouts and putting in a stop sign here or there, or disabled parking here and there. There's ground level stuff that really hits you day to day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what is the so if you're successful in the election on September 16th, then then how does it work then after that? Do you know, do you finish out his term, or do you get a whole new term then, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically I'd just get sworn in, and then I'd be up to running again in April. So
quick turnaround.
Yeah, so definitely nothing I'm afraid of, because at this point I've got some good practice. So
that's it's a momentum. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. And again, I think even people who don't live in DeForest should keep an eye on it, because this is the kind of thing, this is civic engagement, guys. So best of luck, Alicia. Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Reverend.
Okay. Goodbye.
Okay, we're back. What a great conversation that was. And I hope folks really took a moment to hear what she had to say and appreciate what, where this is stemming from and coming from.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up with a question. And I want to give, again, credit to Omar. Look, I come in with a different question, y'all, for these. And then when I get here and we start talking, I'm like, I got a totally better question for us. So this is and look, he appreciates this. This is in honor of Omar.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. What is one of your most toxic traits?
Yes, in honor of Omar. What is one of your most toxic traits?
And you can give background around it if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't like losing. And the inspiration for this question was I'm on the UW swap auction site, and there's this digital voice recorder for $10.
That starts at $10.
It started at $10. Next minimum bid you could do is
voice recorder being a staple of the reporter's toolbox.
Right? I've been thinking about buying one for a while. Mm-hmm. I just keep not doing it. Mm-hmm. But now there's one for $10. Really no excuse.
No, except it's starting at $10.
It's starting at $10.
Right, this is an auction site, which is
it is an auction. So I bid for $10.50, and then immediately it goes up to $11. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe someone else is hovering on this. $11.50 for me. Immediately $12.
And this is somebody who said to us, as he's doing this, I don't want to pay more than $10. So why you keep bidding? I don't want to lose.
I don't. All right, here, look at this. On the site, it says not winning.
Not winning. So it is like feeding you.
It's an insult.
It's a challenge.
I took it as one. This
How
is
dare
a
you?
Voice recorder that retails for about $60.
It's used.
It's probably lightly used.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm just saying
So
it's not worth $60 anymore.
it's not.
It's but
But
and you said I want to spend $10, not more than $10.
but I also don't want to lose.
You also don't want someone saying that you're not winning.
Right. That's so your tax return is you just can't. You will spend extra money just to not lose.
Well, it does vary. In all caps says not winning, which there could be
In all caps.
a
So it's like
different
yelling
way
at him.
to do that.
Yeah, or you just like
Mhm.
not the highest bidder, or you're doing fine, but
I think they did
Dot,
that
dot,
on
dot.
purpose. They chose that wording very
for someone like you,
carefully,
yeah.
to make more money, and I completely understand, which is why I just bid $13.50, and it went up again to $14.
So I told you,
So-
I think
So
that
somebody
person-
has put in their maximum bid.
Yeah.
And this is
They have.
automatically.
Yes.
Basically,
And instead of Omar putting his own maximum bid, I was like, why don't you put a maximum? He's like, well, no, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to accidentally overpay for the sake of winning.
You're just gonna keep doing by 50-cent increments until
Yeah,
you
but
find
eventually
the
it's going to be
limit.
like $60. What are you going to stop? What is your limit? That's why I said put in your limit. And so if it's like my limit is $20 and it goes to $20.50, I'm done. I'm out.
But then he's like, I could have paid 18.
One last time.
But no, if you are all matching each other,
15 now. And I'm still not winning.
that's what I'm saying. So if you say like this is my max, I'm not doing more than $20, and it goes to $20.50, will you close that laptop? Will you like close the browser and be like, I'm done?
Well, the auction on this particular item goes for 2 days and 10 hours. So that's
There's
a lot
time.
of time to consider.
There's
We
time.
will update you all next week.
Yes, we will. It reminds me of years ago. Probably I was in college, so this is probably 25, 30 years ago.
More than
Either
that,
Snapple or Ocean Spray, one of those bottled drinks, had a contest where you not really a contest, but like a random thing.
When- yeah.
There's a prize on the inside of the cap,
Mhm.
and the ones that didn't have a prize said, "You are not a winner." And I was like, that seems personal.
They didn't have to put "you are."
That's
They could have just put "not a winner."
or try again or
So
something
this
like
is
that.
just personal, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm like that's
Yeah.
That's just hurts my
like
feelings.
that's hurtful.
Words are important.
hmm
Okay, but you can work on your own individual ego, so those things
No,
can't
no.
hurt you.
That hasn't worked yet, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm
You're
also
like, I'm not doing that one.
I'm also
Not
but
doing
on
that
the
personal
flip
for me.
side, and I'll get to my toxic trait, but on the flip side, when you use is it Google Maps or Apple Maps? I don't know, but when you
Using a map.
when using one of the map apps
Uh-huh.
and you're using Siri's voice to guide you, when you get to your destination, it says in a very positive manner, "You have arrived,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Damn right I have.
Exactly.
I've made it."
I did it. Yeah, I did it.
I think that's Apple Maps.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
I'm
I'm
pretty
pretty
sure
sure
Google.
supported me.
Yeah, Google is not rather supportive, but
Yeah,
Apple.
Google's less supportive.
Apple needs to be supportive because ain't nobody using them.
right.
That's why Google Maps is a better map.
Well,
They
it's
don't
like
have to support
Apple
you.
Maps is like just pleasantly surprised that it didn't steer you into a river or something.
You have issues with Google Maps that we should unpack one day.
Yeah. Well, Apple Maps is
Apple Maps,
terrible.
sorry.
Google Maps is good. Waze is good. Apple Maps not so much. Don't sue us, Apple. So I think my tax rate is something you suggested.
Yes,
that-
because you were like, "What is
this
my
is basically your complaint.
No, it's not a complaint. This is like one of your toxic traits.
That I often, when I'm cooking, making dinner, whatever, I have earbuds in, either listening to podcasts or more likely the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Because I pay for the app.
Do you pay for the app too?
It's only $20 a season to be
Oh,
able to listen to the game on your
no.
phone and not have to
Who's
monkey with the
paying for
radio.
that? Is that me?
How long is the season?
2 months.
It's 9 months.
Yeah, it's a long season.
It's long.
Yeah, they play a lot.
But I love listening to baseball. Going back to Bob Uecker was the guy that got me hooked. and
It
he's
has nothing to do
gone
with
now.
Bob Uecker. I mean, yes, it does, but also no.
No, but
Yes,
baseball is
mentioned Bob Uecker 2 weeks in a row.
yeah, right, yeah. Great. But it's such a good sport for listening because it's just guys
Uh-huh. Is it?
talking, and then like every 20 or 30 seconds there's a pitch, and you gotta kind of tune in for the pitch, and then you can kind of tune out. And so I'll be like serving up dinner and stuff and getting ready.
Or you're just talking.
or just like hanging out with
Or the kids are coming to talk to you about something.
yeah, and I'll have like one earbud in, and I'll be like, hold on,
Or
okay, what? Like, and here's the pitch. Wait, Oh, missed outside. Okay, what were you saying?
No, or they're talking to you and you just ignore them completely, or not
like,
even where.
I'll be like staring into the middle distance, and I'm listening to the ball game.
Yeah.
But I will say this year, I do have a bit of an excuse, is that because the Brewers are like the best team in baseball right now.
Even if the worst team, you would say, I have an excuse. They need me to listen because.
But I do also, maybe part of my toxic trait is that I take some ownership of this because I was listening every day when they were terrible. So when Jeff Jenkins was our best player in 2003, 2004.
I don't know what that means.
744. Should I become a baseball fan this year?
Yeah, this is the fastest they've ever gotten to 70 wins.
I'm always a fan of the Bucks. I'm only a fan of the other teams when they're doing good.
I grew up on baseball. I grew up because of my grandfather. He loved baseball.
The Padres, right?
He loved San Diego Padres. We loved Tony Gwynn. And we also had Tony Gwynn. Like, for heaven's sake, y'all. Tony Gwynn was iconic. Yeah. And going to a baseball game in San Diego is totally an experience, absolutely. But I grew up around sports. I love sports. But I do have a 9-to-5. I do have children. I got things to do. I got other interests. Rob just zeroes in and can't breathe. There are times when you were like listening to baseball and you were not, like Amelia, our youngest, and I were watching you and you weren't breathing. And we were like, breathe. And like, oh, there goes. Somebody must have hit the ball. Because he can't help it. He gets really excited. You do a little bit with soccer, but not as much as you do with baseball. I think baseball is...
Well, soccer I watch. I don't listen to soccer. So like soccer like takes my attention, and you can tell that I'm looking at the thing.
Yeah, but you can be interrupted with soccer. Baseball, you are not, like, you can't break out of a trance. I don't know if this is a toxic trait or is this a concern.
Or is it like a pathology.
This might be something else. Mine is that I'm a hater who hates. And
for the sake of hating.
I love a hater who hates. And not that I'm necessarily petty.
This sounds like something someone petty would say.
Not necessarily petty, but if I'm going to be petty, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the best at it. Is all. Rob went, yep. You've seen it. What do you mean? I'm better than I was because
In what way?
I only use that. I don't use that energy for everything. Okay. Yeah. I got Rob's like, wait a minute. What do you mean? I still see it. When I use it when necessary. Mm-hmm. I never said I use it as a last resort. I just said when necessary. This is a different thing.
Yeah.
Last resort.
I don't use it as a last resort. I use it when it's necessary.
First resort for me.
Sometimes it's a first resort.
It depends on who I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's situational and it doesn't require it every single time. But
there are some people I just do not like to my core. It's very few people, but completely different attitude.
And maybe that person that you're bidding against.
Honestly, he's going on the list.
Whoever it is.
Hold on, let me say his bidding name.
We're going to put him on blast right now.
No. Jasper, that is Jasper. Stop.
Let Omar win.
I need this.
Now he's going to look at whatever Jasper is bidding on next to like go after it. Not because he wants it, because he's a hater who hates.
Honestly, I did have the thought.
Yeah. All right, friends. We will be back next week.
365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a non-profit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.